Okay, so now we're doing the hint on the 4-5 practice, Form K. On this one it says AB congruent to something, and it's a line segment. We know that ABC is this triangle, and we know angle B equal angle C. And so AB would be congruent to AC. Because if these base angles are equal, then the legs are. So your answer is going to be AC, and it's due to, or because, if you'd rather put that, angle B equal angle C. So you can also say converse of the isosceles theorem. So basically, if you know angles are equal, then it's the converse. If you know sides are equal, then it's just the theorem. So there is a slight difference between them. If two sides are equal, then two angles are equal, compared to if two angles are equal, then two sides are equal. Any questions? Okay, now this one is BDE. That angle, I'll mark it with two symbols because I already used one symbol. Well, this time we've got these two sides equal, so it'd be these two angles equal. So BED, because if BD is congruent to BE, then that is, and that's just the isosceles theorem, not the converse. And I think I put an extra L in there. Sorry about that. This is not right. ISOSCELES. Okay, so there's your two different types. Now this other one is asking about angle CBE, and all these three sides are equal, and CBE is there, so I'm going to put that with 3 marks, and BCE is there, so I'm going to put 3 marks, and then you'd have 3 marks for this one, so that's BEC. So angle, bacon, egg, and cheese. And that's from the equilateral triangle. I'm just going to put equilateral triangle. And they're all 60 degrees, but I'm not going to write that either. Any questions? Okay, the next part is talking about the algebra part of it. It says find the values for x and y. To start, determine what types of triangles are shown. Are they isosceles or are they equilateral? Then use an equation to find x. Because two sides are marked congruent, the triangles are both isosceles. Isosceles. And so for this top triangle, we've got 45 there and then 45 here, plus x equals 180. I'm just going to put 180 outside the box. So this would be 90 plus x equal 180, so x equal 90. Then we're also going to have to get y, so we need to do 180 minus 120 is 60, and then divide by 2 is 30, so that's what y is. So this is 30 and 30 because that adds up to 180, and this was 90 and 90 more, which also adds up to 180. Any questions about that one? Okay. At first, it doesn't look like there's enough information on number 5 because there's not a number given. But if you use the markings on the paper with the sides marked, that means this is equiangular and equilateral. I'll put equilateral. So because of that, we can just start with 4x equals 60. 4x is 60. So that means you can divide by 4 and you get x is 15. So that's kind of straightforward if you recognize that it's equilateral. And then also if we know this is 60, then the exterior y would have to be 180 minus 60, which is 120. So you get 15 and 120 for your answers. The next part shows you this is a 37-degree angle, and let's see. You've got a side marked there. We've got these sides equal, and these sides are going to be equal also, so equal to each other, not to the whole thing. Let me start by just saying this is a side, and so this angle is 37, and so is this one right there, as well as this one right there. That's 37. Because all of them have like the symbol with a thing here and then the 37, or the side length in x. And so if you think about this rotated, there's the side length in x, there's the side length in 37, and there's the side length in x, which is 37. So that's the first part. We know x is 37. The next part is we have to figure out that these are also, hold on, let me pause this just for a second. Okay, sorry about that. Looks like I made a mistake on 6. I got mixed up on x and y. Looks like what we're doing is we're saying this one's 37 over here because that's isosceles triangle, and then if you add those two together, 37 plus 37, you get 74. So then when you do 180 minus 74, you get 106. So the 106 is the vertical angle right there. Those are the 106s. And then these two are supplementary, so this would be 74 there. Okay, so then within this triangle, we have x plus y plus 74 equal to 180, which makes x plus y equal to 106. But then at that step, we know y is really 37 from the drawing. Bless you.
Thank you.
Y is 37 from the drawing. And so that means you can just do 106 minus 37, which is 69 for x. So x is 69 and y is 37. Okay, now I'm going to draw a little box around this. Okay, moving on to number 7. It says ADB is 54. ADB is 54. So then it's asking what CBD is. So we've got this 54, then this one is also, because it's isosceles, and we basically say 54 plus 54 is 108, then 180 minus 108 is 72. So 72 is your answer for CBD. Any questions? So basically, this one's 72, and it's like a bisector, so this was also 72. CBD 72. Okay, number 8, this says AB is 8, and so that means BC is also, BC is 8. It's not equilateral. But what we know is if this is 8, which is across from 54, then this one, which is across from 54, is also 8. So this answer is going to be 8. And it's not like you can do the Pythagorean theorem to get the third side because it's not a right triangle. But this uses opposite of A. Opposite of angle A is BD. Just like opposite of angle ADB ABD or ADB is AB, and so those are the same number then. Okay, the next one says you're asked to put a V-shaped roof on a house. The slope of the roof is 40 degrees. What's the measure of the angle needed at the vertex? So basically, you've got 40-degree angle. Oh, whoops, I did that wrong. Because they're asking about the vertex. So we need a 40-degree angle down like this for there and there. So that means at the vertex it's going to be 100. You basically get it from 40 times 2 is 80. And then 180 minus 80 is 100. So this is the vertex right there. Any questions? Okay, then we'll skip number 10. Let's see. On 11, you use this diagram, and we're not going to want number answers because it's the congruent symbol. So basically, B would be the same as angle BAC or ACB. So that's the correct one for the example. Then for AD, that one is across from the one with one angle mark, and so this is an equilateral triangle. And so we have AC, so it's congruent to AC, which is also congruent to CD. And if you put the word equilateral, then you don't have to put corollary. Okay, so number 12, angle E is another equilateral triangle. I'm just going to draw that here. So angle E would be equal to angle DCE, which is also equal to CDE. Again, that's equilateral. Any questions? Okay, then 13, PR. So that's this long. So if you use your common sense, it would have to be QR because it's the longest. And in that case, because these angles are equal, then the sides are. So that's our converse of isosceles. And for RUV, that's this angle. And so then it'd have to be this angle, which is RVU. In this case, we have sides equal, so instead of converse of isosceles, it's just going to be isosceles. And then we've got SR, which means we're going to have TR. And because angles are equal first, then it's converse. Okay, number 16. The equilateral triangle and isosceles triangle share a common side, which is the base, basically. What is the measure of the vertex angle? Okay, so this is 60, and it's saying these two are equal, which means they're also 60. And congruent angles in the diagram are both 60. The base angles of the isosceles are 30. Because there's a right triangle. So this has to be 30 right there and there. And if those are both 30, then we say 30 plus 30 is 60, then 180 minus 60 is 120. So you're going to get 120 for the vertex. 120 degrees. Okay, the last couple say find the values of M and N. So if we got 25 there, and we have sides equal, .25 there, we know these two are equal. So if this one's 25, then so is this one. And so if those are adding up to 50, then this has to be 130, which is the same as what n is. For n, we've got to do 130 minus 25, because n is not the whole thing because of this little 25 part. So that's how you get 105 for n. 105 for n. And then 105 and 25 is how much? 130. So this one's got to be 50. So to get m, it's 180 minus 50, which is 130. These are a little more complicated than you may be used to, but you can figure it out from things being equal. Okay, and then this one, if you've got a right angle and you've got two sides equal, then we know this is going to be your 45, 45, 90 right isosceles. So we know for sure n is 45. And this one has an angle mark of 45, and then so does that, so that makes this 45. So then what we do is 180 minus 45 is 135, and then divide that by 2, gives us 67.5 for m. Alright, so that's the end of your Form K. Any questions? Okay, let's see. 14 on this one, I'm going to let you skip. This is on the Form G, which you do. Just do it like what we did on ours. Yeah, you can skip 14. Let's skip number 20 also. Okay, so those are the oh, and I now see 24. Skip 24 also. So I'm fine with all that. Okay, so now let's look at your correction paper. Usually do retakes, but this is a correction.